Welcome once again, my fellow manipulators of digital fate. I'm Richie, this is Capricorn, and today we have a spicy video for all of you because even though spoiler season for AetherDrift is about a week away, we actually got our first look at a brand new spoiler today. Wizards of the Coast uploaded a video just kicking off the story for AetherDrift, and they decided to throw a new card our way to tease the start of spoiler season about a week from now. And we also saw a couple arts that confirm that a couple key important reprints are coming to the set as well, and it looks like those reprints are gonna be in the base standard set for AetherDrift, even though they seem like maybe they should be in the Commander precons, because they have mechanics that, if these are legit and coming to standard, that is a huge thing for standard. There's some craziness coming to standard if that's the case. Let's just dive right in and we'll talk about it. So first of all, we're going to start with the reprints. One reprint that was confirmed in today's video was Attune with Aether. This is 1 green mana for a sorcery. Search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle your library. You get 2 energy. Now, they didn't actually show off the card. What they did for this reprint and also the other reprint we'll get to in just a minute is they showed the arts within the video, and they listed the artist name, and then they listed the set abbreviation for the set that it's going to be in. And they did not list the Commander set abbreviation. They listed DFT, which is the abbreviation for the base standard AetherDrift set. So if they didn't screw up and put the wrong abbreviation, and instead these are supposed to be in Commander, but if they actually listed the right abbreviation, that means these are coming to the base set of AetherDrift. They're going to be in Standard, which is nuts, because if this card is going to be in Standard, that means Energy is returning to Standard. That means we can expect a whole slew of new and possibly returning energy cards that are going to be able to be used in Standard. And man, having energy back in Standard just seems crazy. I guess I sort of expected it because we know part of this story takes place on Kaladesh. So I sort of expected that. I will always call it Kaladesh, by the way, so sorry not sorry. But I don't know. It's still kind of crazy if energy actually comes back to Standard in a significant way. And like I said, it's possible it could be a misprint. Maybe they meant for these to be in the Commander precons, and they accidentally put DFT as the set. But until Wizard says otherwise, we're going to take them at their word. And as of right now, they're confirming that Attune with Aether is going to be in the base standard set of AetherDrift and coming to Standard, which is insane. But that's not the only mechanic coming back, because the other card that they spoiled through the art and through listing the abbreviation for the set that it's going to be in is Call for Unity. 2 white and 3 for an enchantment. It has Revolt. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent you controlled left the battlefield this turn, put a Unity counter on Call for Unity, and then creatures you control get +1/+1 for each Unity counter on Call for Unity. What's awesome about this card is it triggers whenever any permanent at all that you control leaves the battlefield. That means if you're bouncing, if you're sacrificing, it seems like a card like this would fit perfectly with the Orzhov Pixie decks that we've seen lately, or the Rakdos Sacrifice decks, or any of that stuff. And granted, 5 mana might be a little bit too much for decks like that, but we have no idea what else is coming in this set, and it's possible that some kind of new deck that uses this card and other new cards in conjunction with some of the mechanics and themes that we saw in those Pixie decks or in those Sacrifice decks, kind of hybridize and make a new deck in the new Standard that kind of uses a bit from both. It's hard to say. We definitely want to keep our eye on this because it's not nothing, and the most important part about this card is the fact that it has Revolt. And if this is truly coming back to the standard legal version, the base set of AetherDrift, like it said it is, then that means Revolt is coming back to Standard. That opens the door for so much craziness, not just new cards using Revolt, but maybe other reprints. I mean, is it possible we see something like Fatal Push get reprinted in Standard? I would never guess they'd go that route, but with how crazy Standard's been lately with 3-year rotation and now 6 sets in Standard every year and 3 of them being Universes Beyond and all the crazy shenanigans we've had to see them unload on us lately, I really wouldn't put it past them to do something as crazy as putting, you know, that card back into Standard. So I don't know, even if they don't, if this is truly in the base AetherDrift set, that means Revolt will be a mechanic within the set, and we'll see a bunch more Revolt cards. So, pretty exciting stuff. I have my doubts a little bit that these 2 mechanics would come back and sort of be unveiled to us in this way. So there is a small sliver in the back of my mind that thinks maybe there was a kind of a misprint. These are supposed to be in the Commander decks only and that sort of thing. But again, we're going to take Wizards at their word until they tell us otherwise. And as of right now, it's confirmed in their video. These cards are going to be in the base Standard set of AetherDrift, which is kind of nuts. But that brings us to the last card of today, which is our only brand new card, Lifecraft Engine, a 3-mana 4/4 artifact vehicle, colorless mana. As this vehicle enters, you choose a creature type. Vehicle creatures you control are the chosen creature type in addition to their other types. And then each creature you control of the chosen type other than this vehicle gets +1/+1, and it crews for 3, becomes a 4/4 artifact creature. The most important part of this card, and the part that will probably be the most overlooked, is the fact that it's just a colorless Anthem effect for whatever tribe you want. You just jam it for 3 colorless, and now all creatures of the chosen tribe just get a +1/+1. And then you kind of have the gravy of, if you need to, you can crew this, throw it in front of one of their attacking creatures and trade with it, or just add to the amount of pressure you can put on the opponent by crewing it and attacking with it. So you get extra value. It's an Anthem that gives you extra value while also being able to be a vehicle. And that as the floor is actually pretty decent. And then when you start to take into account the fact that if you're using a bunch of other vehicles in the same deck, and you start to be able to give all of those other vehicles all of your tribal synergies from whatever tribe you're playing this in, it could get kinda gnarly. Now, the deck that wants to use something like this the most is going to be a deck that is very heavily tribal specific, but also has reasons to want to use a bunch of different vehicles. And there could be many decks that we could brew this with. In fact, if you have ideas about what kind of tribe or what kind of deck you'd want to brew this with, let me know in the comments below. I think we're going to have to wait until we see a lot more of the vehicles coming before we really know the best direction to take something like this, since it gives so much extra value to vehicles specifically within your tribal deck. But as of right now, the first thing that comes to my mind is Merfolk Tribal, because we just did a Merfolk Tribal deck not too long ago. And it was kind of insane. We used a bunch of vehicles, and we used Leyline of Transformation so that those vehicles would also be Merfolk, so that we could use the enchantment that spits out Merfolk tokens every time one of our non-token Merfolks become tapped, which means when we crew the vehicles, we get tokens. When the vehicles attack or tap for some other reason, we get even more tokens, and it just exponentially increases the number of tokens we can make. And we had to use Leyline of Transformation to make that happen in that deck. And even as it stands, that deck is pretty gnarly. I'm super proud of it. I'm actually going to link it in the comments below so you guys can check it out if you want, because that deck with Leyline of Transformation is kind of just nuts. But we can take something like that to the next level with Lifecraft Engine, because we don't even need Leyline of Transformation anymore. Or we could be running 4 of both, and those games where we don't get Leyline of Transformation in our opening hand, now we have a thing that helps us get there quicker, more efficiently, while giving us a bunch of extra value. And even if we do drop the Leyline of Transformation from our opening hand, like, this still comes down and buffs our team and gives us another vehicle and all the things that we kind of want in that deck. So I feel like that deck could be pretty amazing once this set releases. I'm really excited to iterate on it. And I'm even more excited to see what other decks we can come up with, what other tribes. So once again, if you have an idea about a tribe you want to try to pursue with this card, definitely let me know in the comments, because I am theory crafting like a madman over here, and I'm super excited to figure out the best tribes to kind of push for with a card like this once the set releases. We do have some alternate arts of this card as well. This art in particular, it looks like the vehicle looks like an insect and it's surrounded by insects. And then we have an alternate art, borderless, where the vehicle looks like a cat and it's being driven by another cat, which is kind of hilarious. And then we have a third alternate art here, another borderless one. This one's super colorful, and the vehicle just kind of has a bunch of different qualities from different tribes. It's got like a scorpion tail, butterfly wings, goat horns. The whole thing looks kind of salamander-esque. Pretty interesting. But that's going to do it for today. So thank you guys so much for checking out this video. As soon as more spoilers drop, I will post them immediately, so definitely look forward to that. Please like this video so it gets out to so many more people. Subscribe if you're new so you never miss an upload. Like I said, tons of crazy spoiler content on the way, tons of crazy deck theory crafting as well, and I'm not even done with all of my new brews for foundations that I'm still working on, that I'm still uploading. Got some crazy ideas coming, so like, subscribe, do all the things, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for checking out my channel. I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons over at Patreon. Without you guys, this channel would not be possible, so honestly, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of your contributions. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe. The more likes we get and the quicker we get them, the bigger this channel will grow and the faster it will grow. I'd love nothing more than this channel to become something very special for you guys, but it's entirely up to you how fast that happens. Also, if you'd like more deck text, that's somewhere over there. And if you'd like to see what else the channel's been up to lately, that's somewhere up that way. Also, subscribe, circle below, do all the things.